There is a technical difference in America in supporting someone, expressing your views on some issue, and lobbying for someone. Lobbying here is a legal term. If you want to lobby for someone, then you have to register yourself as a lobbyist under FARA, which is Foreign Agent Registration Act. So you have to become an official foreign agent. You have to declare how much money you are given, who is giving you the money, the government and the person both. The individual that who will be sending the money, as well as the government who will be supporting that individual, everything. And all this information is actually displayed on US Justice Department's website. Anybody can go and see it. So that is why when you ask an American if he is supporting, say, a particular government or a particular political party, he would say, yes, I am a supporter. If he is doing PR for him, public relationing for that party or group, he will say, I'm doing public relationing for him, because that again is another little different from lobbying. And if he's lobbying for someone, then he will say he's lobbying for someone. So Congressman Brad Sherman is right. He's not actually lobbying for Imran Khan or PTI. What he is doing is, this man, only recently, he used to be very anti-Pakistan, and he used to give I would say not recently, but like 2 or 3 years ago, and used to give a lot of statement against Pakistan in favor of India and everything. And then, as it happens in Pakistan, his constituency was changed. So he ended up having a lot of Pakistani voters in his area. And therefore, he started taking interest in Pakistani affairs and started sort of speaking on various issues, often supporting Pakistan. And that happens a lot in this country, because they do not change their position on domestic issues. On domestic issues, they take a stance. But on foreign relations, they often change according to the requirement, because it is, after all, Pakistan is one of 200 plus countries who have their bases there, who have their embassies there, who do try to get favor from American lawmakers and everything. And so, because now he has a lot of Pakistani voters who has started speaking on Pakistani issues, and these days, the most active Pakistani political group in America is that of PTI and of Imran Khan supporters. If you were to actually do a referendum or voting in Pakistan, I would say, it is just a guess, but I would say at least 80% or maybe more Pakistanis would vote for Imran Khan and PTI. And therefore, you see that a lot of US lawmakers who have Pakistani voters or who get funds from Pakistani supporters, they are speaking for Imran Khan and for PTI. But you will see that even while doing so, they maintain a fine balance. They talk about human rights violations, they talk about upholding the Pakistani constitution, they stress the need for holding elections, and they do not go beyond that, because if you go beyond that, then that will be seen as lobbying, and then there's a legal requirement for doing lobbying here. So on these subjects, they can easily get away by saying that they are talking about issues. In America, democracy is a big issue, human rights is a big issue, following the constitution or courts is a big issue, and Americans often speak on these things, and that's what Brad Sherman does. What he did was he wrote a letter to US Secretary of State, which is also not uncommon. It has been done before. People have written letter even on Pakistan, on Pakistani issues for various Pakistani governments, and asking the Secretary of State to look into the matter. If you read the letter, what he's suggesting is that the US Secretary of State should use all US diplomatic channels for to check if the Pakistani government is committing human rights violations. That's all he does in that letter. And if those violations are actually, if their interrogation confirms that yes, the government is violating human rights, then of course, then they can ask the government, ask the U.S. administration to do something about it. So, but there are other lawmakers who also have spoken on this issue, and there are 4 of them whose name have been published in the Pakistani media. They spoke with Imran Khan, and they supported the demand for respecting human rights, the demand for holding elections and following court orders. And I think, this is the result of this is happening because PTI supporters in America, what they have done is they have set up their party as PTI USA, which is different from PTI Pakistan. So what happens when you set up a PTI USA or any party? Obviously, those who join this party are all American citizens. As American citizens, they can form any group, any party, and they can ask any American official or any US lawmakers to look into the matter, to support and ask them to support them, actually even demand their support, because after all, they are American citizens and they are their supporters. And this PTI USA, because they have been living here for decades and they have developed political connections now, and then Pakistani living here are becoming more and more aware of the American political system. So they now go according to the requirements of the American political system, how things are done here. What is the most important in the American system is funding, because every congressman or woman has to seek re-election in 2 years. So they're constantly looking for funds to support their campaign. And the most influential within the Pakistani community are Pakistani doctors, Pakistani physicians. There are thousands of Pakistani physicians who have 2 things. Number one, they have the money to donate funds to various to these congressmen and senators. Number 2, they also have the connections because they get all these patients who include influential Americans, so they can influence those in favor of any particular US lawmaker. So they use their influence and their money to campaign for whoever they want to campaign for, as long as it is within the legal boundaries. And PTI has formed a group which is called, I think, something like Physicians for Imran Khan, and they already have 1,600 members, and all these 1,600 members are Pakistani doctors, which means these 1,600 people are giving their time and their money and making effort to support PTI's campaign in Pakistan as a party based in America. So I think the most you see the difference. You see all these statements coming up. You see a sort of softening of attitude in Washington. That is because of these efforts by PTI supporters within the Pakistani American community, particularly Pakistani doctors. There is a softening of attitude among American politicians as well as the media, particularly politicians. And as I said, when you seek election every 2 years, so obviously every group of voters matters. So even if you have 500 voters in any Pakistani voters in any constituency, the congressman from that constituency will definitely come to your event. He will definitely listen to you, and if you ask him to make a statement on any particular issue, he or she will issue a statement, because he needs those 500 votes, and then he also needs donations from those 500 people, and he needs them to use their influence in his favor. And that is why, because now Pakistani, they compared to England, they are recent migrants, and they were not interested in the American political system. They were not, even those who were interested, they were not aware of how to use it. But now they are becoming more aware of the system, and they are learning how to use it, and that's what they are doing. One example, these are all US lawmakers. But another person who has given very strong statements in favor of Imran Khan and PTI is a former diplomat, Zalmay Khalilzad, who negotiated a Taliban agreement between the United States and the Taliban with Pakistan's support and Pakistan's help. Now, what happens is that, yes, he is a Republican and he's an influential person, and the chances are, that, at least this is how it is predicted, that Republicans might, it's not certain, might win the next election. So if they do, there is still an if. If they do, then he'll once again be an influential person. He may again get a good position within the Republican administration because he has expertise on a particular area and they need somebody with that kind of expertise. And his statements indicate that American political parties are also taking interest in Pakistani politics. He is not giving this statement, as Mr. Zardari recently said, only because he has been given money or there is a big conspiracy against Pakistan. No, it is not about conspiracy. It is about Pakistani Americans learning to use their influence, and now that will happen more often, and Pakistani government will have to actually learn how to deal with it. You see, there is a person who's a Pakistani American. There's a Pakistani American called Asif Mahmood. He's a physician too. He's a doctor from California, and he has been very active in the Democratic Party for quite some time. He's actually, I would say, has a significant influence within the party. He ran for Congress, lost, but he's again a candidate and he may win. I mean, the way the party is supporting him, Democrats are supporting him, one day he may become a congressman or a senator from California or some other state, because he has a high profile within the party. And Asif Mahmood Saab is also sort of has good relations with the PTI and with Imran Khan. You remember, like 2 months ago in February, I think he took a delegation of legislators from California to Pakistan, where they also met Imran Khan. He also arranged telephonic conversation between Imran Khan and some US lawmakers, and he was the one who met Vice President Kamala Harris, and according to the information provided by PTI people here, he discussed the human rights situation in Pakistan, discussed the cases registered against Imran Khan, and the need to hold elections according to the Pakistani constitution.